In my last video, we talked about some of the tips I've learned to breed cichlids. Today, I thought we'd talk about some of the things I've learned in raising the fry. Now, just like the breeding tips, there are no absolutes, but I've found these tips useful. Tip number one is nutrition. There are a few options when it comes to feeding. I've used pelleted foods like First Bites and Fry Starter. I even use frozen foods and live foods like baby brine shrimp and cyclops. You can even use a pepper mill to break up some of the pelleted food you have on hand. There are even vitamin supplements that you can apply to the fry's food. Tip number two is water quality. With newly hatched fry, I like to keep them in the same water they were hatched in. And I'll draft water from the parents' tanks to do water changes. This way you don't have to worry about changing water parameters. The other thing to consider is the frequency of the water changes. I typically do water changes on my fry tanks every 3 days. I do this because of the large number of feedings I do. With each water change, I will replace 30 to 50% of the water. Tip number three is housing. The biggest factor in determining if you have to pull the fry is whether or not the pair are housed in a community tank or kept in a tank of their own. If the pair are kept alone, you may choose to pull the fry to encourage them to spawn again, or if they are known to eat the fry. If kept in a community tank with other fish, I would recommend pulling the fry to ensure you get a good yield and to keep aggression on your pair's tank mates to a minimum. When you pull the fry, you have a few options in how you house them. There are several types of breeder boxes you can purchase, smaller aquariums. You can even use a bucket. Each option has its pros and its cons. I've used all of them. I find the breeder box style container works best for newly hatched fry. Smaller aquariums and buckets work well for larger fry and grow-outs. I hope these tips help you go from this to this. Now that you have successfully bred your cichlids, what do you do with the fry? I've always found it helpful to have a good relationship with my local fish store. They'll often offer you store credit for the fry that you can use towards the purchase of supplies or other fish. You can trade them with other hobbyists at your local fish club or even sell to other hobbyists via the internet through various social media platforms. The sky's the limit. Well, there you have it. These tips have helped me, and I hope they help you. What suggestions do you have for raising fry? Leave me a comment below. I sure love to hear it.